HBAR fans, I got some big news for you. Heck, we'll talk price action at the end. XRP fans, what's going on with the volume? It's shrinking. We're under 5 billion, something we haven't seen in a few weeks. Are we waiting for Jerome Powell's announcement? Because we got more than a week till that happens. Tokenization is sweeping crypto. But is it just a fad, or would you actually take tokenized assets? We'll talk that along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Happy Friday, everyone. You made it through the shortened trading week. That's right, because we had a holiday on Monday. What does the heat map look like? It's a mix of red and green up on the screen, with some things not looking so hot while other things have definitely rebounded. Now, before we get into the big news for HBAR fans, and tokenization is something that it's going to make you think, we shouldn't be tokenizing because I don't believe in it. Yeah, I got you convinced. Just wait here. Your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Red Dragoon says, it's funny. I used to listen to Levi often, but lately it's definitely more like hopium than real news. Funny, we had the same feeling, Klaus. Appreciate you giving us the good, bad, happy, and said, look, I don't mind a little hopium here and there every so often, but when that's all it is, when that's all you can lean on, it gets a little annoying. What else do I got for you? Jen Moore's hanging out with us. Says this channel's awesome. I'm learning so much. Wishing you good health and best wishes. Prayer for you, Klaus. Guys, look. I'm good health-wise. I just got a little sinus thing going on, and once they get it fixed, I'll be back in action 100%. You can hear it in me, right? Don't worry. They're going to fix things. They're going to remove things. They're going to rebuild things. I'll be better than ever in the future. Be bright, guy. Says... Just know, Klaus, that we appreciate you and what you bring to us every day. You're like the ultra crypto boss man when it comes to crypto news. Stay strong, brother. Choot from Cali. Cali, where the West Coast is the best coast, but I'm from the East Coast, the Beast Coast. Yeah, you don't see many trail races out on the East Coast because those routes will break you up. Bitcoin, 112,000 ETH, 4441. XRP, 285 on BNBs at 851. Like I said, we got a mix of red and green, but let's right away get into it. Sailor says only orange. Okay. All right, Sailor. Let's see what the institutions say. The institutions say sell orange. That's right. BTC had some outflows. Bitcoin an outflow of 222 million, while ETH had an outflow of 167 million. So we're still seeing some softness with the institutional players. And lately, what have you seen up on the screen? Not a lot of orange, Mr. Sailor, but a lot of blue. So right now, the market is favoring ETH, not BTC. So you can post all the AI art you want, Sailor Dog. The market ain't buying it. Now let's get into that HBAR news, fans. The U.S. first state-issued stablecoin FRNT expands on Hedera. There you go. The Wyoming State Token Commission, WYST, announced the move after a quarter two review that found Hedera's performance, governance, and regulatory alignment suitable for public finance applications. FRNT, short for the Frontier stablecoin, is the first state-issued stablecoin in los Estados Unidos. It was created under the Wyoming State Token Act of 2023, home of Loomis, the BTC maxing, and is fully backed by U.S. dollars and short-term treasuries, aka debt. Remember, that's why the United States government loves stablecoins, because it's backed by debt. So the more players that launch stablecoins, the more players that back U.S. debt, the more what makes United States debt stable. That's why governments love this. Wyoming explains that they chose Hedera as the only additional blockchain candidate for FRNT after evaluating speed, reliability, and compliance. This is what they said. The company selected Hedera candidacy because its technical edge aligns with our commitment to security and compliance. Ooh, here's the announcement. Why? Well, because as always, any article you see in this video, along with all my other videos, will be linked in the description below. This is talking about the Wyoming State Token Commission announced its last commission meeting that the Frontier stablecoin has now what? Picked Hedera, a trusted public network governed by leading global institutions. Pretty cool stuff. So HBAR fans, how do you feel about that? You gotta feel pretty good. Now, did this announcement give HBAR fans anything price-wise? No. Again, what is this? This is good ecosystem level. Stablecoins are what? Good for yes. Yeah, the issuer. So, this is good, like I said, to keep you relevant in the news, hot, spicy, naughty, and relevant. And I think it's good for the HBAR community to feel good that they were picked for those reasons. Why? Fast, secure, right? This is a feather in the cap sort of thing. Like I said, price-wise, I don't know, okay? I mean, when you look at the chart, you look at the one day, you see, okay, XRP's one-day chart looks like that. HBAR's one-day chart looked like that. They're both kind of similar. Okay, so it didn't have much of price effect. That's what we've been learning here lately. There's ecosystem news and there's bigger macro news. The bigger macro news moves the price, while the ecosystem news is what? Good for the ecosystem. Now, a lot of people out there have been saying, bro, tokenization is where it's at. But I'm here to convince you that tokenization is not where it's at. Tokenized Pokemon cards spark collector crypt boom as trading card real-world asset surge. Now, look, y'all know I am a massive card collector. Behind me on that wall, those are all Cardist Super Mario Bros. 3 cards. On that wall, that's all baseball. And on that wall right there, that's all Pokemon PSA 10 slabs. I am not getting any tokenized Pokemon. I want the real deal in my hand. When I've got my PSA Charizard, when I've got like my PSA Pikachus, like the 10s, the slabs, I want them. I don't want tokenized assets of that. But let me know what you think. The market for tokenized Pokemon cards is experiencing rapid growth, with collector crypts launch drawing investors and collectors into on-chain trading. Its cards token surged tenfold in less than a week, hitting a fully diluted value of 360 million. Basically, here's what happened. Pokemon cards, for those of you that don't know, are absolutely going bonkers in value. So, players wanted to tokenize them. They wanted to capitalize on that hot action. Again, if something is hot, spicy, naughty, and relevant, what do traders want to do? They want to capitalize on it. So Pokemon has been hot. So what did they do? They tokenized it. Collector Crypt reported $44 million in monthly volume, a 124% increase month over month. Rival Fidgetails posted $2 million, up 245%. Danny Nelson, research analyst at Bitwise Asset, compared the trend to the pivotal moment in prediction market, said Pokemon and other trading card games are about to have their poly market moment. Basically this, okay? I get tokenization, but would you want tokenized gold or would you want the real thing? Would you want tokenized Pokemon cards or would you want the real thing? Because when it comes down to it, you want the real asset in your hand. Now, I do understand the allure of tokenization. Yes, bringing assets to people that don't have access to them. But I got to be honest with you. I got access to Pokemon PSA slabs, and I don't want tokenization. I want the real thing. But let me know down below what you think. And this is what Danny wrote. This is actually a really good read. It's only about 3 minutes long. You're welcome to read it. It talks about token cards up 10 times in less than a week after launch. Why? Because people want in on the action. And that's what this is all about. This is all about a bubble that's being created. I expect the Pokemon boom will be sticky. One of those moments where an only in crypto innovation breaks into the mainstream. Kind of like what Polymarket did for prediction markets. Created global demand for a service that people really didn't think about before. And don't get me wrong, I totally agree that there's going to be a demand. I totally agree that you're going to be able to make money on it. But the reality is I want my PSA 10 Charizards in my hand. I don't want to be trading tokenized versions of it. I want the real deal. Because you know what? Part of the fun for me is having them displayed on the walls, as you see behind me. The other part of it is I honestly want to physically have them. Like, I really do. I want to physically have them. I don't want tokenized versions of these cards. But let me know. Am I off base or not? Overall volume for crypto, like I said, it's starting to slow down. XRP's volume is slowing down. Crypto market's slowing down. Volume right now, $132 billion the last 24 hours. Altcoin season index holding strongly at 50 out of 100. We talked about institutional inflows, or should I say outflows, as we've had both Bitcoin and Ethereum bleeding money. Sorry, Sailor Dog. Only orange? No. Maybe only red, as both of them are losing. XRP price, like I said, the volume has been really muted here as of late. We have seen a little bit of a rebound here over the last 7 days, where XRP is up from its lows at 270, but nowhere near the $3 mark that we've been needing. Now, XRP has been sub 3 now for what, 7 days? So yes, we did see the market pump on optimism from dovish comments from Jerome Powell at Where Jackson Hole. But the real rubber hits the road on the 11th of September. So less than a week away from now, next week, Thursday, is CPI data. biggest report that the Fed is going to look at. CPI data looks good. That helps us get back to $3. If CPI data looks really good, that puts a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell to cut rates, which definitely puts us back to $3. Not only does it put it back to $3, it helps pumps us above $3. Look, Jerome Powell cuts, XRP could easily go well above $3 on that move. Then we get the idea of regs maybe this month. We could easily blow into the 350 range in that. But look, I don't think we're going to get both this month. It would be nice if we get one out of the two. But right now, XRP fans, look, if you believe in long term, you're getting to stack now under 3. Why is that important? Because we've seen recently that the XRP market wants to keep pushing up. We saw ever since the early mid part of July, XRP has been pushing north above 3. Not pushing down, but pushing up. And what is the market waiting for? News on regs and big macro development. So this is your time right now to make your moves. Why? Well, because the government and the Fed are going to be deciding fiscal policy here over the next several weeks, leading into what? Leading into regulatory policy here over the next several months. So yes, price action is muted right now over the last month, but you think it's going to stay like this? All I got to say is zoom out and let me know the last time XRP had a big pump right here. Crypto week had to do with regs. The last big pump before that was in November. What happened then? Yeah, optimism with a new president. Had to do with regs, right? Because a new president would bring in regs. What do you think's going to happen when we get the new version of the Clarity Act? That's right, optimism on regs. That brings green up on the screen. So be honest with me here with the tokenization thing. I get it. It's like one of the biggest buzzwords in crypto. But would I rather have PSA 10 slabs like this? Or would I rather have tokenized? See what I did there? Tokenized version of this? No. Would I rather have tokenized? No, I would rather have actual slabs of this. Why? I can go to shows and I can sell these. I can display them. I can look at them. I can trade them. And honestly, I like them. I like displaying them. Tokenized version, what do you do with it? You just hold it in like a wallet and you just like leave it there? And that's kind of my whole point with this. Tokenization is cool because not everyone has access to PSA 10 slabs, right? Not everyone does. And not everyone has access to other tokenized assets. But would you really want tokenized gold? Or would you really want physical gold? Would you really want tokenized silver? Or would you really want that hot $40 an ounce silver? Seriously, I do. I understand the allure of tokenization, but sometimes I think we're taking the tokenization thing too far. Now, that being said, don't get me wrong. You can make money on it, and that's what's happening right now with the tokenization of Pokemon cards, right? A little tokenization of Pokemon cards. But the deal is this. I think some things are just a reach for money. Is it going to be a bubble that bursts? You bet your butt. But hey, let that bubble blow up and let that bubble burst. Now, in terms of price action, we saw the news with HBAR didn't really help it out. It didn't, right? That's an ecosystem level pick. Running a stablecoin on your chain, we saw it doesn't use up a lot of gas, doesn't use up a lot of juice. USDC is run on Stellar Chain. That doesn't help at all. RLUSD is run on Ripple's chain. That doesn't help at all price-wise. So we've got ecosystem level events, and then we've got our bigger macro level events. The bigger macro level events are where the price action happens. CPI data coming up, FOMC meeting coming up, and at the end of the month, what do we have? Markup coming up with the Senate Banking Committee. I got you covered with that. We'll have live streams month long covering that action. So I'm going to play with my real Pokemon cards, not my tokenized assets. You let me know down below if tokenization is real or not, who treated me the same when my record wasn't hot, and be honest with me, right? How cool is that one? Lost Origin, VMAX, Pikachu, pretty cool stuff. How about a little bit of Hidden Fates, Charizard EX? Yeah. Tokenization? No, girlfriend. You know what it really is? It's choo-choo bitchesinization. Tokenize that, bitches.